took us about 3 hours. We did a drive an hour each way. And Renju turns around in the front seat and he goes, oh, this is great. This strengthens our faith. Kidding me? Like, that's what these people do. Every single person that I met in India, every believer, had either been beaten up or knows someone that's been beaten up. And a lot of them know someone that's been killed, burned in their car, rejected from their family. Everyone knows someone's been rejected from their family. I would even venture to say that most Indians that have been or have become Christians have been rejected by their family. That's what it is. Christianity is so different there. And I'm not going to say it's better or worse. I talked to this guy named David in Varanasi. Varanasi is it's a city in India. It's the holiest place in India. It's the epicenter of Hinduism. If you ever see pictures in National Geographic where there's bodies burning, that's Varanasi. They throw the bodies in the river when they're done burning, and then they go and they brush their teeth in it the next day. Hundreds of corpses. But I was asking him, I go, why don't you think I've ever seen any of this? Well, actually, I'm going to back up. I'm going to re-explain something. I was talking to them, and they explained that 90% of the believers in India become believers in Jesus Christ because of miracles. I'm Southern Baptist. Shut up. I've never seen a miracle. I've never seen anyone healed. As a matter of fact, I laugh at Benny Hinn when I see him on TV. That's just what it is. 90% of Indian people that become believers because of miracles and healings. I guess it's the same thing. So I was talking to him, and I was like, why do you think that is, man? Why haven't I ever seen a miracle in this space? I grew up in a Christian family. My parents were missionaries. I am the person that should have seen this. And he goes, it's not bad. We just need it. India it's dog eat dog. If you don't fight for it, you die. And he said, in America, what you've been blessed by good health care. You've been blessed by God that you can take care of yourself. We don't have that. We need God. He shows up and he's better. It was gracious of him to say one wasn't better than the other. So I spent time with him and just learned those things. But another thing in India that I just learned is going. I went with two friends. Kelsey's not really a speaker, and Carl hates to be seen in public. And what happened is, when you we went to tons of house churches, tons of schools, and so 10 minutes before you get there, they go, what are you speaking about? What? I don't know. What are you talking about? So they would go, okay, so you're going to speak tonight at the house church. All right? I mean, I'm 5 minutes out, so I'm going through. And I reached this point where I was going, this is rude. This is really rude. I came all the way from America. I came to observe. I wanted to see what the Lord is doing here. And they're asking me to speak 5 minutes before this. And I was serious. And so what happens is I just go through. This happened probably 7 times. I ended up speaking in India to like more people than I've probably ever spoken to. Because I would just go to house churches and they go, what are you going to share? And I would go, this is what I'm learning. And so I'd start talking. And the funniest part was I never felt qualified. Because I would go, I'm learning to trust, and you're dying and learning to trust. And you're having faith in learning to trust. And honestly, I said it before, there's nothing remarkable about me. I was thinking about it last night. Really, the only thing remarkable about me is the way that Jesus chose to love me. That's the only thing that makes me or you remarkable. Is the way that Jesus chooses to love you. And the way that Jesus chooses to love every stinking Indian in India. Because sometimes they really get under my skin. It's hard to be there. But these people have faith that is unreal. I'm going to share 2 more stories. And these are people that, these are secondhand stories. You know that. But they were told to me by this guy, Renju, who I have absolute faith in. was talking about some friends, and they went out and they went to go do evangelism in the slum. Actually, I think it's a village. They went to a village to do evangelism. So they brought their projector. That's what every evangelism team brings, a projector and a screen, and they show the Jesus video, then they talk afterwards. So they go out there, and they start talking, and basically they get beaten up like mad. Like one guy manages to save the projector, he grabs it, runs away, but they get beaten up. They don't care. That's just what happens. They all go back home. One guy couldn't go with them because this guy was sick that day. When they get back, he finds out they got beaten up, and he's ticked because he wasn't there to be beaten up with them. And this is what he does. He drives straight back to the village to get beaten up, and he leads the entire village to Christ. You like my $50 jeans? I've never seen that. I've never done that. But these people have faith that God will come through because they have faith. And because God is bigger than anything that I've ever thought him to be. Another thing that they told me, there's this guy who's in the military and he became a believer. And in India, they don't really, it's kind of funny, they don't really train you. They just go, you're a believer now? All right, you're going to be a missionary here. And so they took this guy and they put him in this village. It's a Hindu village. And they put him in the middle of it. And the first day he got there, he went out and he just started preaching. He stood up on something and he was preaching Jesus. And the shamans, the gurus, the holy men, they come up to me and go, hey, what are you doing? He goes, I'm preaching about Jesus. And they go, you better stop, because if you don't, we're going to send our spirits out and they're going to kill your family. So he stops and he goes home and he talks to his wife and he goes, I was preaching, but they said that if I don't stop, they're going to send spirits out and they're going to kill you. And his wife goes, so why are you here? Go preach. Go back out. He goes back out and he preaches. He preaches for like a month. And after a month is up, he's been preaching for a while. The same holy men, they come back to him and they go, who's your God? Why? Actually, he probably didn't do that. As an American, I would have done it. He probably went, Jesus! So he goes, why? And they go, because we sent out, listen to me, I did not leave the country believing in this kind of stuff. That's not me. It wasn't me. He comes back, or they come back and they go, he says, why? And they go, because we sent out our most powerful spirits, and they went to kill your family. And they came back to us, and they said they couldn't because your family was protected by angels of fire. I'm Southern Baptist. This stuff is real. And because we live in America where we don't need God, we need iPhones, and we need jeans, and we need this and that, and Chipotle, which is one of the first meals I had, and it was great. But these people, if they don't trust in God, if they don't have faith in God, they will die. But the truth is, because they trust and believe in God, they're okay. And that's what I saw this summer. I saw faith that was unreal. And I saw God working, and I saw God working in me. And I left this country going, I want to find out what I'm going to do with my life, and this is what it is. Carpentry. I'm going to be a carpenter. And that's scary for me to tell this big of a group because I've only told close friends, because that means I have responsibility now. I'm going to be a carpenter. And the reason is, when I was at Oshijjoku with Renju and Saji and everyone else, they do vocational training for women. And they teach them sewing, tailoring, they teach them computer skills, teach them English, and beautician's courses, because even the poorest Indian woman in the slum is giving them jobs while I was here. I was talking to Saji and I went, this is awesome. I've seen tons of organizations in India. I've seen IJM, if you've heard of them. I've seen Asha Jyoti, OM, Good Samaritan schools. I've seen all kinds of stuff that I don't deserve to have seen. But all of them that I noticed, they all worked with children and with women, which is phenomenal. You affect the woman, she affects the sphere of influence for women around her and her children. Bring up godly leaders and children. But what I noticed is that there wasn't many organizations dealing with men. And so I talked to Saji and I went, where do you see Asha Jyoti going? Which is a very Western thought. Usually when you ask them, they go, I don't know, God will lead. And he went, I want to affect men. And how I'm going to do that is through vocational training and bringing the gospel along with that. Give them a credible skill, a skill that will always be there, and then you bring Christ. And for me, that's something that's been laid on my heart. And I don't know if I'll ever get there. Right now, the first step in this vision is learning a skill in that carpentry. Something I've always loved to do, something I never thought I could do because I thought I had to do in business or full-time ministry. But right now I'm learning carpentry, and maybe one day I'll be teaching men how to do it and giving them vocational skills and teaching them about Jesus. And maybe I'll learn welding and electrical and plumbing and teach them that too in English through the classroom. But when I left, I went, God, show me what to do. And it's kind of like freaked out, and I went, I'm going to come back to the country broke. I'm going to have no job, and I might not have a direction. And I will stand before you. And legitimately, when I say this, I'm ordering you because this is what people like to do to me. I don't know. I'm not going to do this. Don't give me money after this. I know that sounds weird. I am the lowest that I've ever been in my life. I am legitimately the lowest. Humanly speaking. I am the poorest I've ever been in my life. I have no job except for what this is right now, which is amazing because I have these friendships that they go, hey, come back up to Hume, we'll let you do this and we'll let you do this. There's some other things in that make me lower. And I'm the best I've ever been. I'm legitimately the best I've ever been. Because I have a vision, and I know that's from God, and I have seen faith, and I've seen God move. That's basically what this is. I know where I'm going. I saw God, I saw faith, I saw God work. I've seen what a person looks like with the Holy Spirit, which is probably the most I've ever seen. If you ever get a chance to go to India, you're going to hate it first, and then you're going to go, this is awesome. All of you are probably in, the 18 to 24 category, maybe a little bit older, younger, here and there. If you ever get a chance to go overseas and do something like what I was fortunate to do, is awesome, go see organizations. I mean, I got to spend 8 weeks, 7, 8 weeks in India, just non-stop seeing organizations, spending time with them, speaking, which is something I'm not always comfortable doing. Take it. It's one of the best things you'll ever do. Get out of the country, get out of America, where you're comfortable, where you can get whatever you want, and really experience poverty. But really see it, and spend time with believers in other countries that see things differently, that do things differently, and that believe in God in a different way than we believe in God. It's all the same God, but believe in God a different way, and see things differently. That's all I have. If you'd like to talk about it, dude, I'm totally game to talk.